Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to reading for today. It's Miss Smith here, and I'm going to let Mrs. Spears introduce the lesson in just a moment. She is going to tell you that you don't need anything but to keep your journal and pencil nearby. Well, you will need your journal and your pencil later on in the lesson, so keep it close to you so that you can be able to do a little bit of writing later. I hope you enjoy your lesson today. Miss Spears and I are working together. Listen to her introduce the lesson, and then I will be reading the pages of the book to you.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom in Sync. I'm Tanisha Spears, and I am so excited to get back into our learning for today. For this lesson, there are no physical materials, but you may want to have your journal and a pencil nearby. Other than that, you just need to be ready to listen closely. We've been building our knowledge to answer a big question or an essential question. And that question is, how do books change lives around the world? Now, before we can answer that question, let's continue building our knowledge by revisiting the book, My Librarian is a Camel, and thinking closely about our focusing question, which is, how do people around the world get books? One more time, how do people around the world get books? And today, not only will you be building knowledge to answer this question, but you'll also be working to answer our content framing question, which is, what does looking at headers and captions reveal to us? I'll say it again. What does looking at headers and captions reveal to us? Before we get back into the book, I want to remind you that headers and captions reveal deeper meanings about a text, so listen closely as I reread sections of the text. As I am reading, think about the information you've already learned from the book. Are you ready? Let's get back into the book.
Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to continue to read My Librarian is a Camel. And you see the book here. I will be turning the pages and reading to you. Remember, Miss Spears said that our goal is to look and see what the captions and the headings reveal to us. So we're going to look for those captions and headings. My Librarian is a Camel. Now today we're going to read all about England to start with. So I'm going to go to the table of contents so I can find which page England is on. So I find England, and I look and I need to go to page 12. So I'm going to go to page 12 now and find the country of England. Oh, look, here it is. So when I look at this page, I notice that I see a heading. A heading is like the title of a section. And this is telling that these next two pages are all about England. So let's see how these boys and girls get their books. The Blackpool Beach Library book brings books directly to people who are enjoying their summer holiday at the beach. The library is a wheelbarrow. Do you see here? It says Blackpool Beach Library. Two library assistants cart the books up and down the beach. Borrowers needn't join the Blackpool Library. When they finish reading their books, they simply return them to the wheelbarrow when it comes by another day. The people at the Blackpool Library believe that it is important to promote the joy of reading. Libraries are services, not buildings, said one librarian. So this library doesn't even have a building that people come to, that they believe that they can take their books to the people on the beaches. So besides donkey rides and lemonade stands, this beach offers books. So then I can go to the next page and I can find out a little bit more. Oh, there's another kind of library in England. England has other types of mobile libraries as well. Share a Book is a children's mobile library van in Gloucester, a county in England. A librarian travels with the van to the countryside where children who don't have access to a regular public library. Many children don't have books at home to read and share with their parents. Share a Book has a special books for children for whom English is a second language. That means they might speak Spanish or they might speak another language like Italian from where they're from. They also offer toddler story times and take part in special celebrations in the area. So we just read the heading and we also read the words, but now we need to look at the captions. Now a caption is a small piece of text or a sentence or two about a picture. It tells us about this picture. So let's look at this picture here. The Blackpool Library distributes the joy of reading from a wheelbarrow on the beach. And it says, even a donkey likes to put his nose in a book on the beach. So another thing that they did, and it said here in the words, that they also had lemonade stands and they had donkey rides. That was something that this library offered. But the most important thing was books. Even this donkey likes to put his nose in a book on the beach. Well, then go to this next page and I see another caption. This is Gloucester's mobile library. And so this is their book mobile that they are able to bring kids' books in their library van. And then here it says, inside the Share a Book library, kids and grown-ups love to share books. So they're able to go inside and share books together. So we looked at the headings and the captions, and we were able to think and learn some new things. So think about, what did the heading and the captions reveal to us? What did we learn about England? Tell your learning partner. Oh, did you learn that in England that kids can get books from wheelbarrows on the beach? Or they could get books from a van? I bet you did. Okay, well, let's look at another country. Now we're going to go to the country of Kenya, and I already have the page ready here. So here's my heading. I know that this whole section is about the city of Kenya. Try to get my book straight. All right, well, let's read the words first. You can see the pictures as I read. The roads to Bullet Ifton, 200 miles northeast of Nairobi, are impassable because of the desert sand, even for cars with four-wheel drive. But young people who live in nomadic villages in the area are hungry for books. So librarians use the most economical means of transportation. That means the cheapest way to get people their books. And they use camels. Do you see these camels carrying the books? Library camels are on the road 5 days a week, and they can carry heavy loads and need little water in the heat of the desert. One camel may carry as many as 500 books, weighing about 400 pounds. A driver and a librarian divide the books into 2 boxes. They saddle them on the camel's back, which is covered with a grass mat for protection. A second camel carries a tent that serves as the library roof. Let's go to the next page. The students of Bullet Ifton eagerly await the arrival of the camels. When the library caravan finally reaches the village, the children watch as the librarian pitches the tent and displays the books on wooden shelves. The librarian places the grass mats on the ground in the shade of an acacia tree, making a place where the children can sit. The students can treasure their new books for 2 weeks. When the library camels return, the children can trade their books for new ones. So we read the words, we looked at the pictures. Now remember, we need to read the captions. So we've seen our heading, and that's Kenya. Miss camera is not up there. It goes. It says, these young readers are grateful for the books brought by camels. So these are all boys and girls that are so happy because the camels brought them books. They wouldn't be able to get to the library, but the camels brought them to them. And here's some other, it looks like some other people handing out the books. Okay, but there's another caption on this page. Let's check this one out. Sorry about that. It says these camels are ready to bring books to children in remote villages. Oh, that word remote. Remember we learned that in our vocabulary video. The word remote means that they're very far away and they're not around a city. They're in a place all by themselves. So think, what did we learn from the heading and the captions in these 2 pages? Take some time to think and tell your learning partner. What did you learn by using the captions and the headings? Did you learn that in Kenya, the children are excited to get their books brought to them by camel? And because they live so far away, these camels are ready to bring them books. Very interesting, isn't it? Okay, well, let's look at one more country, the country of Thailand. Get to my right page. Here we are. Oh, this one's very interesting. See if you can see both of the pictures. Okay, here we go. Zoom in just a little bit. Thailand. Remember, here's the heading. In Omkhoi, a region of northern Thailand, there are no schools or libraries. Tribal people cannot read or write. The government of Thailand hopes to change that with a literacy program, that means a reading program, that includes bringing books to remote villages in the jungle. A number of these villages can be reached only on foot. That means a car cannot drive to them and they can't take an airplane, that they can only get there by walking. This makes transportation difficult, especially during the rainy season. How do you get books to people who need them most when they live in a hard to reach mountainous regions? That means they're also in the mountains of northern Thailand. Elephants! They get their books by elephants? Let's read more. Let's see if you can see these pictures. The Chiang Mai Non-Formal Education Center has the idea to use elephants as libraries. Elephants are already being used here to plow the paddy fields and to carry logs and crops. That means they're using them to work in the farms. The elephant teams spend 2 to 3 days in each village. So each trip covers 7 or 8 villages. So it takes each elephant team 18 to 20 days round trip. The Books by Elephant delivery program serves 37 villages, providing education for almost 2,000 people in the Omkhoi region. They have been even designed special metal slates that won't break when carried on the elephants' backs across the rough terrain. So they have made these hard surfaces called slates so that when they put things on top, that they are able to carry them on the elephants' backs, and the things won't break underneath and they won't fall. These slates, slate is also another word for chalkboard. These slates are used to teach Chai children to write and read. There are also 2-person teams carrying books to about 16 villages, bringing learning materials to another 600 people. So the slates are kind of like our whiteboards now. A lot of us don't use chalkboards anymore in schools. We use the dry erase board. Well, they're still using chalkboards in Thailand. And so they make these really special metal slates, chalkboards that these kids can learn to write and read. In Bangkok, the capital of Thailand, old train carriages have been transformed into a library. So here is another kind of library they have. It's an old train carriage. The train is called Hong Rak Thai Yawakon. Not sure if I pronounced that correct, but I did my best. Which means library train for young people. The train serves the homeless children of Bangkok. The Railway Police Division in Bangkok realized that there was a need for a safe place for children on the street, so they refurbished the old train carriages. That means they made them like new. Do you see how they painted them? And they were old before, and they decided, well, let's use these for something better, something else. The police restored the trains to their old glory, complete with wood paneling and shining copper light fixtures. They turned the railway cars into a library and a classroom. Here, the children learned to read and write. The police have even transformed the area around the train into a garden where they grow herbs and vegetables. Very interesting. Well, let's see the captions. So here's our heading, Thailand. Here's our caption. Oh, we got to read this. It's important. The Elephant Library is headed for remote villages in northern Thailand. Okay, let's see. That was the only caption on this page. So how did the headings and the captions help us to learn in these two pages? Tell your learning partner what you learned about Thailand. Did you learn that the books were delivered by elephants? They also have these old train cars that they're created for libraries and classrooms. Well, you guys did a great job listening today to our book, The Librarian is a Camel, and you used the headings and the captions to help you learn more. Great job today, first grade.